format start?
Yep. Now's good.
Now's good. All right. In that case, the bumper. Hi, I'm Erik Burnham, writer of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures, and guess what? You're listening to Splash Pages.
Is the one obvious thing.
Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to... Wait. Oh, shit. I'm stuck in a box again.
Leo, you're stuck in a box.
I tried... Carrie, can you just take over? Hey, everybody. What was that? Oh, Leo has been unpacking again, and unfortunately, he's unable to make it this evening. So you get me being a Fleo again. Reddit Oscar and I are hanging out with you tonight. We're drinking some Maker's Mark, hanging out. We have got a great show tonight. You know everything about me because you watch me all the time and you follow me on Owlite and everywhere else. I know you do because you're amazing. And we have some special guests coming with us tonight beyond our special guest. So without further ado, let's go over to Mr. Cooper.
Yeah. I have nothing in comparison to our special guest tonight. So I defer to him. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Another special guest that we have joining us this evening is Mr. Steve McMahon.
What do I do with my hands?
Yes, I never know what to do with my hands.
I never know what to do.
That's why I have a puppet.
It's been quite a while since I've done anything with you, but I missed you and I'm here tonight.
You have an awesome looking background there, man.
You should see
I don't want to go into his bathroom, man. I don't know. That's crazy.
Oh my God.
I just realized what you were talking about.
Oh my God, you guys are ridiculous. Hey everybody, it's Splash Pages. It's a new year, so we're keeping it spooky, but also slimy, but like in a good way. We have Leo who's feeling quote unquote boxed in. Stop it. We have our two fantastic guest hosts because we figured full house for the new year. Carrie is holding it down Fleo style, and I'm here, and this is Tennessee Jack Daniels with Tennessee Fire. But we also have a fantastic guest here. I'm super glad he's back. He has been a writer for so much that I thought about trying to rattle off all of his credits in a row, and I just realized I don't have enough booze to do so. So you've seen him on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle projects, Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, Scarlet Spider, New Warriors, some Marvel, a lot of IDW. He's here, he's everywhere. Godzilla fans beware. The one, the only, Erik Burnham.
Hey everyone! Can I be more awkward right now, or should I wait till later? I'm not sure.
Oh no!
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely, you're doing good.
All right.
Great to have you here, sir.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be as awkward as you like. I am.
Don't give me that. Don't give me that permission. You might regret it later. No.
None of that.
It's been a very long day, and I didn't know I was even supposed to grab booze. So I mean, heck, I've only got my water.
Grab booze. I'll be back.
Here, have some of this, my lord.
Yeah. No,
Lord, no.
Yeah. Listen,
and we lost him.
Yeah. No, listen, Eric. At some point, splash pages became smashed pages. At some point, so I was just like, "All right, fine. As long as y'all can still interview and say sentences, fine."
Mm-hmm.
You know,
there it is.
that, you know. But thank you so much for coming back, Eric. And since last time I've had you, you've been busy, man. You've been writing a ton of great stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think the most recent things I can think of. I know you're still writing for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. As our Mr. Cooper would point out, Mutant Nation #3 is about to drop really soon. Pigeon Pete is back with his signature catchphrases. You know, everyone knows he's Pete. And you're still writing the Saturday morning cartoon, which, again, the first volume we read, that was supposed to be just first 4 issues, but it did so well. It's an ongoing series, and man, you've just taken it and incorporated so much. It's crazy.
I really love the opportunity. I love being able to jump into a long run on a book, and I love the Turtle Sandbox. So issue 20 is coming out tomorrow, and I just turned in the script for issue 30. So
issue 30.
That's fantastic. Like, even this, you have the Turtles crossing over with Usagi Jimbo, and like you said, it's one of the few times that the character isn't being written by Stan Sakai.
It's the first Turtles crossover that he didn't write. Yeah, I found that out after I turned it in.
Wow.
Freaked me right out.
Yeah, did you ever like hear from him? Did he like it? Did he give you the thumbs up, or was it like
I heard, I mean, he had to read the script. He sent back notes. He asked, to make sure that the villain that we had in this wasn't too much like his Bat Ninjas from Usagi, so we made sure of that. But I mean, he approved the script pretty quickly, and so that was good. I did say hello to him at San Diego Comic-Con last year. And how that worked was he was at his booth. He was super busy. I just grabbed a copy of the crossover to have him sign. And I told him I wrote it. And he goes, "What?" I said, yeah, I wrote that one. He goes, "Oh, it's a fun book." I'm like, "Thank you." And then I would have loved to have talked to him, but he had a line, and I didn't want anybody to stab me for taking too much time. So I got out of the way. I would have loved to have to chatted with him longer. Because I had such a fun time writing his book, and Usagi was the first Turtles figures that I owned back when the toys were coming out in the '80s. So I mean, I get a little bit of a fondness, nostalgia for the two together.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was so interesting seeing both of them together, and I can say this: I've met Stan like once. Cooper has probably met Coop. You've met him a bunch of times, right?
He was supposed to be at Granite, where Eric was, this past September, but he pulled out the last minute. He wasn't feeling great, and that's a lot of travel from where he's at. So
we
missed him.
Because I got to meet him. What was it? I think it was Terrific Con, like 2016, and I had him sign because it was the only thing I had in my Turtles collection was the crossover he had done around that time, Justin. And he was like, "Oh yeah, this is so much fun." And I was just like, "Yes, everything. Great to meet you. So chill. Hi." Just one of those. You're like, "Yes, thank you." So keep writing, do the things, send him to space. Thank you. Bye.
That's a great book too.
So, but Coop, I think you've seen Eric. I mean, this is the only exclusion I've met, but you got to hang with Eric with Granite State, right?
Oh, dude, I've got an Eric collection at this point. Like check this out. So one thing that we don't talk about enough is that how good of an artist Eric is. Look at that.
Yeah, agreed.
That's amazing.
That
was the first piece of artwork that I bought at Granite State. So I mean, that.
Well, you're not showing the others.
You got your
you know.
your Tobin Spirit Guide, but
Yeah.
a real gem of my collection I want to show you guys because this is something that does not get talked about enough. We just moved Eric's daughter off to the side here, seeing
hey,
the granddaddy of the Foot Clan. But the downside is hilarious. This is something that does not get enough due. I was just going through this before we started, and just to give you an idea, it's all kind of like cartoons in here. So this gentleman is adding bay leaf to his soup, right? Then he puts it into the soup, and there's a big explosion. And he looks at it, and it says Michael Bay leaves. So
get out.
And it's all
I love
stuff
the dad
like
jokes, man.
I love it. So if you're wondering who's got the humor to write Spider-Man, to write Michelangelo, all of that, it's all coming from this guy. So the same guy that's crushing, Jet Jaguar with Godzilla feet.
That's it. Yeah. No, I wish I could have kept that in print a bit, but it was I did it on Amazon, and the books were, they either came out looking just super crisp and dark and beautiful, or they had toner lines. And I didn't know what anybody was going to get when they ordered. I didn't know if they were going to get a super, sharp and crisp looking copy, or if they were going to get one that looked like it was, put together on a dying printer. So I pulled it until I could figure out something better. But it's something that I do for fun for myself and throw on, online Patreon and all this other places. So it's where the bad puns that I can't find any place else for, that's where they go.
Absolutely. No,
dad joke machine. Is that
yeah.
I mean, all you really need is a podcast. That's all we do here.
I had one for a while. I ran out of time to edit when I started writing so much more again. I like everybody else, I did one during the pandemic for a little while. So
yes, pandemic was a good time for podcasts. So
yes, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
I had like 6.
But then, so the other one that I got to bring up is that I didn't know this, but until we did the research. Well, first we have a question. So, how do you keep track of all of these characters' histories?
Yes, Sarah Meyer.
No, Sarah definitely. And Jeff, our Nickelodeon guy, is a font of information. So what I don't remember, they absolutely will, and what they don't have off the top of their head, wikis have. So eventually, I will get the information. It's really that simple. Watch the show, read the wiki, talk to folks who are more expert than you are, and you're off to the races.
Okay, there we go.
I wish the answer was more complicated, but it really isn't.
No, that's fine. You did the research. The research. You turned in the paper. You got the A. That's fine, man. So The Simpsons, working with Chuck Dixon on, was it Mug Darkly, right?
Through a Mug Darkly, yeah. It was, one of the first online communities I was on was the old Dixonverse message boards in the 90s. It's where I met all the people that put together the Shooting Star Comics Anthology. And Chuck and I talked to the Simpsons, and I said I had an idea. He goes, well, I'll turn it into Bongo, and I'll write half of it, and I'll split the take with you. So I mean, Bongo was hard to get into because they paid really well, and it was a really nice check. So I mean, that was just a nice thing that he did for me, basically. Bringing me in to help out. I just off an off the cuff idea of Homer wakes up in a world with no beer, and that was the idea, that was the gag, and so I wrote. I think I wrote the middle. I think I wrote the middle. Yeah, and then Chuck did the opening and the ending, and that's how it went. So, it was fun. It was, I mean, certainly my only chance to write the Simpsons.
Yeah, I mean, the horror at
this is like almost 15 years ago now. I almost forgot about it. Holy cow.
Well,
I mean,
glad you remember me. And I'm just saying the horror of missing pizza day is just. I mean, I have to say, as someone who thoroughly loves pizza as much as a turtle, that was the real horror ending. I was like, how dare you?
That's it.
No, God,
I
no.
think you got to blame Chuck for that one.
I think
No,
out
I
of
know,
anything,
but I was just like, God damn it!
I
Wow.
think out of anything that the best storyline is probably Homer and no beer. Just the idea of it is earth-shattering.
I know he told me that some of the jokes went too far and he edited them out before they went off the bongo. But it was a neat experience. It was awful nice and it came about around the same time as we were doing the A teams. IDW put us together for that to split the 4 books. And that's we got to talking about the Simpsons, so it kind of the one led into the other, so it was just like I said, it was a real solid for him to bring me along on that.
Because he doesn't really have much of a like a presence. He's kind of I wouldn't say he's retired. He's just not really working as much in the industry. Did you ever get a chance to meet him at a con? Years
back. Like I said, this was. I met him at the first con that I went to.
Oh wow!
And so that was and it was a while ago, but that was 2002. So yeah, just a little over 20 years ago. And I haven't spoken with him for a while, but I know he's still busy. He's switched over to novels, and there's a movie coming out this month with Jason Statham, Levin's Trade, and that is based on a Chuck Dixon novel.
Wow, I did not know that. That is awesome.
Yeah, so I remember, like I said, it's that much I knew. It's I remember when he first wrote that book. So yeah, he's keeping busy with stuff beyond comics, I think. So yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, he also worked on that Hunter Bear Ninja, that one recently. So that was an independent book.
Okay.
I didn't catch that one. So yeah,
it's not bad actually. I mean, it's interesting. The hunter and the ninja aren't who you think they are, but of course the bear's the bear. So
yes.
I mean, I would love a bear ninja, but I just feel like how would that work? And then that's where the creativity comes in. So I have to ask, do you remember any of the jokes that quote unquote were deemed too far?
It was all physical humor gags. It was visual gags that it was just like, no, this will eat up too much space. Get rid of this. Okay. There was some extended nonsense with Disco Stew, I think, that I remember was gone. Yeah, that kind of stuff. So
no, we got to take this out. You're advertising Disco Stew, and
this is like a page and a half worth of background stuff. We don't need this. It's just it's going away.
Oh, the Disco Stew.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, Handsome Pete. That's like those obscure characters you want to bring in.
And then
it's for nickels.
And then something that I really noticed, because again, I've been reading just like Mr. Cooper over there. I've been reading the Saturday morning cartoons since the first volume, and I will say when you script the breaking the fourth wall, every once in a while it'll happen, and I'm like, wait a second. And I'll reread the page, and I'm like, oh, right. Like, what was it? I think it was issue 4. They're talking about, what's classic, character would still be in print in the 60s or 80s years later. And they just all look at us. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. So those just always catch me. Like, is that how do you weave all of that in, but still keeping within the spirit of the Saturday morning cartoon?
I mean, it was something that was a part of the fabric of the show. So, I mean, it's easy to keep in the comic because it was always there. And and so, just when the opportunity presents itself, I drop it in. And there are times when they say, okay, maybe slow it down on the fourth wall breaks. And there's other times when, it's just like, it's been a while since we've seen one. Why don't we get a fourth wall break in here, kind of a thing. Oh. But yeah, no, like most of the jokes, it just, I do a rough outline pass, the dialogue that needs to be done to take care of the plot forward, the action that needs to be there. and then when I'm formatting the story, whatever joke pops into my head as I'm writing the dialogue out,
Right.
and getting the panels set, that's what goes, and hopefully the jokes work, and don't
Right.
there's not a whole bunch of notes coming by saying remove this, change this.
Right.
And yeah, so it's sort of like ad-libbing a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, I mean, it's fantastic. And like I said, whenever I'm reading like that and then Ghostbusters, I feel like I'm a kid again watching the cartoon or watching the real Ghostbusters. Like you just capture the personalities of the characters so well. Because I feel like sometimes some people they'll write characters and everybody sounds the same.
yeah.
There's no distinct, but like each time like I can hear like especially because this is all the 80s, like I'm hearing all the original cast as their character. I'm like, no, they would totally say the same thing with reading any of your Ghostbusters. I hear like Maurice or Frank Welker or like Arsenio Hall and all of them like Lorenzo Music, all of it just, and it's so in there, man, and it's just crazy. So I mean, that's just me. I don't know, like Coop, Steve, QN, whatever.
I actually had a question about that. When I was rereading it, I read it. I forgot. Was it established in that book, or was it established before that Winston was a Marine prior?
It was not in the movies. It wasn't. There was a thing that they were going to have him in the Air Force, as part of like extended character stuff that comes out after the movie. Because fans dig the stuff up and character information. But Tom Waltz, our editor, is a Marine. So we really just said nothing was established, but they did have it in the character that they were going to have him in the military. So we're just going to make him a Marine to give a nod to Tom.
Yeah,
I definitely liked that addition to it. It gave it like a lot more of a like. That's why he's proficient with the proton pack and the neutrino one and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, he used he used the stuff to build the character. So I mean, it was in his performance. At least I assume. So it felt right and felt consistent. So yeah.
And also, Steve, I think that they mentioned some of that in the novelization because it was something they didn't use, but they did mention it in the novelization of the first book or the first movie. But it's like one of those things that you wouldn't know unless you read it.
But aren't
and
like
I know
rule issues? Like usually, like a novelization takes some liberties that aren't really canon.
Well, it's actually amusing because the novelization for the Ghostbusters, they included a lot of the deleted scenes. So a lot of those were found in there. And it's funny because a lot of certain things are like, oh, okay. But then some of the I was like, wait a second, this is like what I like again, and that's something Eric, like just rereading your Ghostbuster stuff, like how do I say this? You fill in the gaps that I didn't know I needed because I feel like there's always questions like, oh, how did this happen? Like the one that I thoroughly enjoyed that you really was the first movie, the Dana and the prescription drugs, because I know that that's always a scene that a lot of Ghostbuster fans are kind of like, oh, okay, Venkman, why do you have that? And you kind of like, and again, it was funny because she's like, oh yeah, I had a prescription. It's for hiccups. And she's like, don't laugh. And I'm just like,
I looked it up. That is something it is prescribed for. I was amazed. So yeah, but I didn't love that scene myself. So yeah, I tried to get away with fixing it. Isn't the word I want to use, but I'll use fixing it. Just changing it to
tweaking.
Fit with my own sensibilities.
Yeah, tweaking a little. Just we're just gonna a little bit. So we have, how did you approach Winston with regards to him being a late Ghostbusters member?
Well, as far as year one, gosh, I just when in the movie he was hired, and you didn't really see too much of his ramping up into the position. So that was the obvious stuff to do in year one. Just show a little bit of, here's how the equipment works, practice with a little bit, go on a small, show him on a small bust before, because I'm trying to think. I don't believe
Blow up pumpkins.
he definitely wasn't. He wasn't in the movie doing anything other than,
Nope.
He showed up. He was hired. He was driving around with Ray and then Gozer. So
Yeah.
just showing him getting his feet wet. That was the kind of the obvious thing for year one.
Absolutely.
The first what's it called? The first bus that you see other than Gozer.
Yeah, because you don't get to see him react to anything.
And it was
the
Edgar
first time.
Allan Poe, so it was just awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And side note, Eric, Carrie is a big fan of anything involving ravens or crows. So the second I reread that, I really was like, oh my God, she is gonna love that. And I know some of that is you, and then the other is your frequent collaborator Dan Showing, who just can do no wrong. Dan
needs a prompt most of the time. I mean, I will write a lot of stuff. No matter how much stuff I write, he will always add more. No matter how little I write, he will always add more. So I mean, he's going to be bringing a bunch to the table no matter what, and it's one of the joys of working with him.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, literally, and I love that. Like in the first volume, you had everybody who made up an appearance. You had the Archbishop, you had the desk guy, you had Reginald Van Johnson's character, who I feel like I haven't seen a screening, and Coop and Steve, I don't think I haven't seen a screening of Ghostbusters where people don't applaud when he shows up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And see, the fun thing, like I said, it's right back to Dan. Some of those I asked for, and some of them he just said, "I'm going to draw them." They're going in because it doesn't say that it can't be them, so it's going to be them. That kind of a thing. So.
And Carrie, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, you loved the Poe thing, but you also loved the issue with Ray and when they went back to the library, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm a huge bibliophile, and so and then having him and then I'm threatening this rare book. I'm like, oh God, please don't hurt the book. Please don't hurt the book. Oh, that wasn't the real rare books. It was still a book. It was an index of recipes for making omelets. Still a book.
So you filled in the details so well, and then everybody, it was just, I mean, I think that's the thing that I can say, having read, I remember when I first bought the first issue, was like, this is awesome, and just reading it till the end, you just really, you expanded, but you also filled in a lot of really solid lore. And to me, I was like, this is just as canon. And I've used that explanation that you did, and Steve and Goop, you know what I'm talking about, the one where their destruction of Gozer by crossing the stream implanted the knowledge of how to defeat Gozer throughout the multiverse. And I've used that with people to explain, how there's different Ghostbusters. And they're like, that's really good. I'm like, that was not my idea. And I always give you and Dan props.
Predates Across the Spider-Verse. I'm just saying. Predates it. So
yeah, true. Yeah, exactly.
We hooray, we got to something first.
Yeah. But so the one thing I had to ask, and then I'm going to stop because I feel like I'm just talking so much, and it's pretty sure the whiskey. When you're writing the humor, what's the recipe? Because I feel like some people I've talked to, writing humor is really difficult. Because again, it's about, so when you're getting the tone, do you write it thinking are you trying to be serious? What's your formula for humor and not, of genres?
Writing humor is easy, but writing humor that people find funny is the trick, because sense of humors range so wildly with the Ghostbusters, with any of the characters write humor for. It really, what it is it's character based. You put a character and their personality in front of a thing, a situation, something weird, and how they react to it is usually, as long as it's abject fear or aggression, the personality will come out. Usually it's humor. That's how I translate it. That's how I react myself, and that's how it works. It reminds me, I can't remember where I first read this, but there was somebody who might have been John Cleese, said that there's a difference between comedy and humor, and humor is truth. It's reaction. It's how people deal with the world around them, and comedy it's a gag, it's a bit that's trying to make you laugh. You know, and both get used.
It's very
you know,
Steve Martin. You know,
could have been Steve Martin as well. You know,
shock me.
I just say I honestly don't remember where I read it the first time. I wished I could had a steel trap for where stuff was cited. I would sound a lot more intelligent, but that was something that did stick out. And so yeah, I do try to keep it more humor, more authentic to the character, and that seems to work for being funny when, you know, a snarky line or something, because it true. It's also how you read it. If you know, if you covered up the panels, you didn't know which character was speaking, you might read it as your brain might translate it as drama, and it's not funny anymore, but it's the same line, you know, or just like a droll dry action hero line, but not, you know, not funny. It's just, well, that sounds awesome, but it's not funny. You know, it just everything comes together. The character, what you know about the character, informs the humor as well, at least as far as the stuff that I've written.
Absolutely.
You mentioned improv too, so it sounds like a little improv going on in your head there, where you're thinking, oh, and then Bill Murray sounds like this, and then, you know, he's going to bounce that off Ray, who's going to say, oh, well, look at the size of that thing, and be like, oh, you know, and then you kind of play off that way. Is that what's happening?
That is kind of how my brain works with it a little bit, for the most part. I mean, the characters that I've worked with a long time, or the characters that I'm really familiar with because I've seen a bunch of stuff, and I've said this before, I've seen everybody at this point has seen so many of the Saturday Night Live alumni from the 80s, have seen, you know, all of their stuff. You're familiar with their tics and how they react. So yeah, the improv stuff is kind of seeped into the culture a little bit, which makes it a little easier on me because half the work is in people's heads.
Now, have you ever written like stand up? Like I assume when you're writing jokes like that, you go back to it and you say that's not that funny. Like you go back and you rewrite it till you think it's perfect. I've never done stand up personally, but I do have a set written for when I do jump that gun. But like I imagine it's the same thing.
It's yes and no. There's storytelling in stand up. There's also, you know, just setup and punchline in stand up, and that's different than a scene. That's more the kind of thing that you would get at an improv show. But I did do stand up once, just to be on stage and be funny when I was in high school. The only joke I remember was something about the inventor of Slinky being a snake with scoliosis. Nobody got the joke. So I said, all right, this isn't for me, I guess.
I told the aristocrats.
God, please don't.
I spent a couple of years doing stand-up, actually. And it's a lot of it's stand-up, punchline, tag. And then you go in for your next one. But you do have, you know, you can build the stories and have the callback kind of thing. I think one of the best things I ever saw was this guy who would have more than his share at the shows, and he started doing callbacks to bits that he hadn't actually done that night.
I actually kind of like that.
Oh my God. Did you see Larry David? Is that
no? It was somebody
in the audience.
We had a local bar that we would do. It's Duffy's here in Lincoln, and they would do the Duffy's Comedy Workshop, and it's where we could all get together and practice our bits every other week and try to build new stuff. But everybody knew his stuff, so they knew what he was calling back. But he had, except for, you know, like half the audience, but all the other comedians knew his stuff, and we were just like, "You didn't do that. You totally forgot it." But it is a very different beast writing that versus and we do improv sets too to keep you on your toes, but doing that and then writing, so hard to get the two to go together because there's the timing thing too. And if you're, like you said, when you're in character, if you're reading it with like Bill Murray's timing or whatever, you're like, oh yeah, got that, I know how that would have sounded. But if you can't do that with somebody, then it might just turn out to be something like, why is that on the page? So
Yep.
it's great that you're able to bring that about so well, because you get those characters so well. I loved reading the Ghostbusters stuff. It was all in my head, every line, how it was going, how it was being pronounced, and you know.
I appreciate it was one of the most fun jobs I've ever had, and I do miss it. I'd love to get back to it someday if they ever had space for me. So, who knows?
They still have the license, right? IDW.
Yeah. No, it's on Dark Horse now.
Dark Horse has one of the licenses.
Afterlife.
Yeah.
So,
mm-hmm.
But and it's so funny because I've owned copies of like Tobin Spirit Guide, which has just absolutely terrifying artwork by Kyle Holtz, who's just amazing. And then it's funny because last year I got your Tobin Spirit Guide. There you go. Look at that beauty.
The green
Not
version.
gonna lie, it did not occur to me until when Justin showed it that you're the same. Yeah.
So, listen, Steve.
You want me to show the cookbook? Yes.
No, that's what I got. Is my friend gave me that, and I was like, oh my god, and I was like, Erik, co-written by Erik Burnham. I'm like, oh, of course.
When I put that together, I was like, oh god, I might fangirl, but I won't.
Oh no, listen, Steve. When I got a package from Mr. Cooper, and I was like, oh hey man, I got you this trade paperback. I think it was like Transformers GB, and it was signed by Erik. I was like, oh, to Drew, and I'm like, oh my god, come on.
The only one he had too. So
yeah, I know, and it was just so great, and I was like, and I messaged Cooper like, thank you so much, but I still want to meet him. Still, so
you gotta come out to C2E2 so you can see Erik hanging out with one of the other funniest people I know, Dave Wonder. So
Dave, yes,
hilarious dude. So.
I see Coop. The problem being is I would have to pay extra because I know I would bring 2 suitcases, one for clothes, and the other one's for books, and then I would be that guy. I'd be like, hey, I'm just gonna circle back. Just going to keep coming round and round and get the whole collection signed. I'd be like, thanks so much. That's the Ghostbusters. I'll come back tomorrow with Scarlet Spider.
I wonder about this collection.
Ghostbusters got me the Scarlet Spider job.
Did it really? That was awesome.
The first issue of Ghostbusters, back in 2011, I put up a panel that I got a page that I got a kick out of, which was, Egon telling Ray that he wanted to take a look at his brain, like with an MRI, ellipsis, possibly. That Chris Yost liked that joke, and that's what he saw that, he laughed, he followed me, and then a couple years later asked if I wanted to pitch in on Scarlet Spider because he was off busy on the set of Thor: The Dark World. It was so funny because
which is my favorite Star Wars or Star Trek movie, Thor: The Dark World.
There it is.
There you go. But I remember reading that, and I was like, because I was a huge fan of that Scarlet Spider. I miss it very much. I thought that was beautiful, and I remember seeing. I was like, co-writer Erik Burnham was like, wait a second, is this the same? And I was like, it's the same spelling.
Yep.
I think it's the same man.
It was such fun, and I really I can't thank Yost enough for bringing me along on that, because I loved writing Kane so much. It's different than the type of jokes you would have with Spider-Man proper. It got to be a little bit drier, a little bit more sarcastic, and I really loved it.
It was awesome. But we have another question.
So Andy Samberg's voice for him.
Yeah. So New Begin says, should I read your stories if they have a moral, or are they just for entertainment? No judgment.
Some of them have a moral, some of them have a theme, some of them have, something that evolves naturally out of the telling, and that I want to get across. And the Saturday Morning Adventures number 20 kind of got the after school special. It's a Wonderful Lifestyle. The world would not be the same without you in it. Kind of a message. I mean, that is a cliched moral that you see in a lot of places, but it's still an important message. Other stuff is absolutely just for entertainment, and some are both. I don't feel bad writing something that just gives people a chuckle or a bit of diversion for 20 minutes. I don't feel bad writing something that has a message to it. So I try not to do anything that beats anybody over the head, but I do hope that there's amusement and such out of everything, out of the things that I write.
I like
That
I
is the
like your
goal.
segue there to the newest comic that's coming out. Just
Whoops,
because-
Your
okay.
audio is pretty
Coop,
bad.
Coop, couldn't hear you,
Oh,
buddy.
Yeah.
That was a
sorry.
great question. Could you do it again?
Yep. Okay. Any better?
Now I
Yes,
can
so
hear you,
much
yes.
better. Take
Okay.
two.
I was just saying I like that segue, how you're going to the newest comic that's being released, but just to point out, the B plot that you're doing for Mutant Nation, that is a
Mhm.
hell of a book. That is
Yeah.
a really really good book, and it's one of those things that it's like I know a lot of people in the turtle community who they're like, man, this is the book I can't miss this month. Because
Mhm.
Last Ronin 2 is kind of like it'll come out in like 3 months or something. We don't know when.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Mutant Nation is they're like, oh my god, did you check out that KCB plot? It's amazing. So it's just
Yeah.
so good, dude. Like
Thank you.
you and Santa Luco when you're doing like the secret origin of the Foot Clan and
Mhm.
the hidden destiny. Oh man, so good.
Yeah.
Loving
It's
that stuff.
I love working on that quarter of the Turtles universe. I love working with Mateus. And I don't know when we'll get a chance to go again. It was funny because the very end of the Armageddon game, they had us build towards a very different status quo for the Turtles,
Mhm.
and then we moved a little further with Untold Destiny, and then with this story we're kind of edging it back towards a more familiar, a little older status quo, because I don't know if that's where Nickelodeon wanted it or if that's where Jason wanted it to be, to take his story and go the way that he wanted to go.
Yep.
But so we're kind of backtracking where we had gotten with Casey and Karai.
Mhm.
And just so it's clear, I'm not saying, "Oh, dang that Jason Aaron for undoing my work." That's not what I meant.
Well, we'd have to go back in time because he was on
Yeah.
he was on last month. So
Mhm. Yeah,
Yep,
no.
okay.
It's none of those things. It's just like I said, we're laying the track to get the characters where he needs them, which is cool, and we found a fun way to do that, and that basically means
yeah.
letting Mateus go nuts with action and just having fun with it. I'm jealous of Jason because he gets to play with these. The darker versions, back to sinister versions of the characters, and I mean, because that's always been so much fun for me. So
Mhm.
I look forward to seeing where he takes Karai and Casey, as well as the Turtles. So
Oh,
yeah.
I'm looking out for Karai too because I've already read issue 6 of the IDW series, and I'm like, oh my god, this
Mhm.
is a book from where did this come from? It's so exciting. But Casey got a new mask. Casey's working for Karai and the Foot Clan guys, so it's like this is not ever done at all.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
this is not something. This is not a character from Mirage that you'd look at and be like, oh, who's this dump? He's
Mhm.
just like some guy that's out there. No, he's the moral core of the Foot
Mhm.
Clan. And that was the whole point after Armageddon game. So
Mhm.
Mutant Nation takes him and puts him in here, and Karai's got a power up. So
Mhm.
it's kind of like a whole different dynamic going into this new IDW series. So we're
Mhm.
excited. And
Yeah.
the other thing I just wanted to mention is that I have heard from countless people that what brought them back into Turtles was Saturday Morning Adventures. So just to share
Really,
that, it was
wow.
that. So I mean, I moderate the IDW Ninja Turtles group on Facebook and all that. So there's like 14,000 people in that one. Whatever.
Oh.
Like all these people, they're like Saturday morning is what brought me back. And
Wow.
it's a huge thing. So
I see. And we've talked about this. I'm relatively remote. I'm hours away from a comic shop. I don't have people around me who read comics, and I don't always see stuff when people are talking, good or bad, for better or worse, about my work online. So it's always a surprise to hear something like this, and it's a welcome one. I mean, I
no, I
really
was
appreciate
telling
it.
people because when we were at Granite, there was like 20 people up on stage for the 40th anniversary, and I looked up on that stage and I
Yeah,
said, Erik Burnham is the most
I was like,
dangerous man on that
do you want me
stage.
to back out?
No. And I said this. I said Erik Burnham is the most
It
dangerous
was
man on
the
that stage.
Fogwell gym shirt.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
Oh,
so
goodness.
Steve, we haven't gotten a chance to let you speak really.
No, I
And-
think he's in like fanboy paralysis. He's just like,
okay, I was just wanted to offer up if you had anything that you wanted to bring up. We've kind of all been
I have
prattling.
an oddly specific question, if anything. When I was reading issue 1 from Saturday Morning Adventures, I right
Which
after,
issue 1?
yeah, there's more than one, buddy.
Mhm.
Oh,
It's the one that we read, right? From the first volume.
from
Not
volume
G.I.
1,
Joe,
yeah.
right?
Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah. The so right after the lightning strike,
Mm-hmm.
there's a comment that it's like, uh-oh, what do you mean, uh-oh? Immediately I thought Ghostbusters, but then I realized like it could be something else. Was it the phrase that you used? Was it inspired by Ghostbusters or was it inspired by something else?
I also think I know what you're referencing. Are you talking about, Steve? Are you talking about the moment where it's like in Jason X when they're like whoops and like, oh, whoa, what whoops? There's no whoops.
Yeah, but
Something
no,
like that.
Yeah, exactly that. There's a moment in the movie Rat Race where they go, "Uh-oh." What do you mean, "Uh-oh"? But I'm pretty sure, isn't it like there's something in Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters, when Ray thinks about Stay Puffed, that
No. I think you're talking about the second movie when Vigo shows up like, uh-oh.
that's right. I am so sorry.
Got you, buddy. I got you, bud.
Yeah,
I
Support.
apologize for
That's
that.
what we
I-
do in the community.
I don't think I did that on purpose. It's a well-worn bit, and I'm not saying that something didn't influence me. I'm not sure it was
Right.
that. It could have been
Okay.
any of the million things that have done it, though.
I spent
Right.
20 minutes trying to figure out where it was from, and then I was like,
It's such a useful bit, and it's popped up in so many good comedies.
I do love that issue. Let me tell you that.
Okay,
That issue is amazing.
thank you.
There you
Yeah.
go. So I had actually a kind of two-part questions. So your first Ghostbuster work was you were doing a two-parter for the infestation thing. And
Mhm.
what an issue. I mean, you're talking Ghostbusters dealing with zombies, you deal with like a zombified Stay Puft. I mean, and that's funny because I wrote that article when I was writing for Screen Rant. I was just like, yeah, this is the stuff of nightmares.
Mhm.
Like, what's more dangerous than Stay Puft? It's a zombie Stay Puft. He's melting, he's deformed, he's pissed, like he's on fire,
Mhm.
like fire bad. But then that was like the first thing, and then you had the main series, and you, Dan, did multiple volumes and whatnot. And I've actually been to like events, Ghostbuster related, where I see people cosplaying your characters. Like I've actually
Really?
seen
Oh.
and it's funny because I have a photo with him and I tagged you and Dan on Instagram where I know somebody who dressed like Ray's spirit guide,
Perfect.
and I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you
Please.
later. But it was so funny because he's a Ghostbuster cosplayer. He very much he's the real Ghostbusters. It's REEL Ghostbusters. He goes by Pete's Prism Planet. He's an artist.
Mhm.
And he customizes things like he'll take images in the Ghostbuster and he'll make them like RGB or whatnot, and it's fantastic. But
Mhm.
he'll go to like Ghostbusters Day in New York where they have it at Hook Ladder 8, and he'll show up and he's dressed like Jake with the sunglasses on, giving out prints. And I took a photo and I was like, hey guys, I think I found someone you're gonna remember. And it's just so. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen those, but have you seen
No.
people cosplaying as your characters? And
I think years ago, I think somebody sent me a photo of a Ron Alexander, and I think somebody sent a photo of a cosplay as Dan's version of Kylie. Our version of Kylie, which is not. I mean, that's only like half an original type of creation. But that's all I said. The one that wowed me is somebody at a convention here in Minnesota brought me up a custom action figure of Ron. And I'm just like, this is amazing. This is fantastic.
What?
So that was cool to see. But I haven't. I'm sure folks have done cosplay of it, because I mean, if there's one thing cosplayers are going to do, they're going to find something, unique that's not everywhere.
Absolutely.
and jump at it. But I I just haven't been at the cons where they've happened. So it's a bummer. I wish I could have seen something in person, or I wish I could have seen more of the pictures, especially when we were still in the thick of it. But yeah,
That's great.
not a ton. I'm excited to hear that it has been done though.
Oh yeah.
That makes me happy.
Oh my! It's when I saw him, I was like, "Can I get a photo?" Because I by then I'd interviewed with you when I was on with Justin for the Epic Tales, and I was like, "I've met," and he was like, "Oh, that's so cool." So I made sure to tag you and Dan in it, and I see him every year, and he's even now where he's Jake, but he has a Ghostbuster patch on, and I always and it's funny because I'm always the guy at the event. I'm always handing out Twinkies. Because I'm just like, I know none of you are eating. Here's sugar. Let's go.
Nice.
I hand out toasters.
What happened?
I hand out toasters.
You do? Do they dance?
Of course they dance. They're the number one holiday boutique gift.
That's all well and good until it eats someone's hand.
No, we're gonna put safety warnings. Everything like the old man eating toaster trick. But no, I mean, Eric, like I said, being someone like similar like Steve over there, who's got an impressive background, his proton pack flashing, all that, like I said, your work merged everything in one beautiful reality. You had the first two movies, you had the video game, you show the rookie, you expanded it, you introduced all sorts of new characters there, man. I mean, like I said, I had a friend who was getting it. It was like, what do I read? And I was like, there are 3 books. I was like, yeah, The Other Side by Keith Champagne and Tom Nugent. The other, Displaced Aggression by Scott Lobel and Elias Krasinski, and then Erik Burnham and Dan Schoen. Like, what about that? I was like, everything. You read all of it. So another question we have here is, I heard you wrote for the Ghostbusters video game. How was that different?
Didn't actually write for the video game. What I did was a couple of years ago, gosh, more than a couple of years ago now, it was forever ago, they did a mobile game, AR game, kind of, somewhere between there's a Star Wars battle game and Pokemon Go. It was somewhere between those two
Steve,
games.
you must have this.
And it was I downloaded it. And I was just like, I can't. This game is like it's huge. It's like 1.5 gigs. I can't keep this on my phone. But it was that was 2017, 2018, somewhere in that neighborhood. But it was just a mobile game. So the before the battle, the characters say something. I just went through, and they had the Korean developers had put into temp dialogue, and I just went and I changed it and added some things to make it sound a little bit more brand specific. And that's where I learned that that video game scripts were written in Excel, which really threw me for a loop. So
wow,
yeah, that's what was there. And I was not working on anything nearly as complicated as some of the AAA games are. So I am not saying that that I did that you had the full experience of game writing, but it was unique and it was a lot of fun. And I got to I got to write up little bits on all the ghosts, and I got to invent some ghosts for them, and and the dialogue for the Ghostbusters and the characters that went through, and they used just about everybody. So that was
yeah, totally. Steve, do you have more questions? I want to give you the.
Now.
I'm just saying. I just want to give you the ample chance, man.
He's like,
I mean, you're the strong silent type. You're Egon it right now. So I just want to make sure. We invited you on. We didn't want you to be Ghostbuster eye candy over there.
Steve, why don't you tell Eric who your favorite ghost is?
Oh
do
yeah,
that to me.
Because
Put
I
him
know
on
you'll
the
have a good one.
Say that again.
What do you say?
Who's your favorite ghost? You could pull from the real Ghostbusters. You could pull from the comic. Who's your favorite?
I'll tell you this. This will give it away. My dog's name is Moogly.
there you go.
Come on, man.
That's pretty.
God damn.
I also
he's the boogeyman.
He's 100% like white. Like that's why we named him Moogly.
Oh my God.
That's pretty cool, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. I have been encouraged by my partner that it was like no Ghostbuster names. I was like, I would never give a child a Ghostbuster name. I am like, it was like, no, we're not giving any kid Egon. Like it's gonna get nailed. I learned that
Sam
from
Hain.
Nick Cage.
It's
What?
Sam Hain. It's always Sam Hain.
That's true. That's true.
That was-
and
that would have been my second one.
Yeah.
And speaking of, I remember, like, what was it? Eric, correct me if I'm wrong. You did a series where it was the Ghostbusters and Holidays, right?
Yeah, we did. We did one. Yeah, there was one that came out before us.
Mhm.
We did a sequel with like different. They did 4 one-shots that were like kind of holiday, a Halloween one and a
Right.
Ghostbusters to Comic-Con and Valentine's Day. We did. So what we did was we did different holidays. We did New Year's Eve. We did Day of the Dead.
Right.
We did not Christmas, but
Krampus.
Krampus, Sinterklaas, the 5th.
You're right. The Cinder Claw. Right.
Yep. And then I forget what the fourth one was, but yeah, we did first Devil's Night.
Yeah.
So we kind of we kind of danced around Halloween for 2 of them, and then Christmas and New Year's, and we just without technically being the same. So we just we dived into some different lore and had some fun with that.
I get it. Ghostbusters meets The Crow, and Winston has a twin brother who's a cop.
Dear God,
this all adds up. And then
stop.
I mean, they had license
That's
for a
the comic
while.
you
I'm sure
do.
we could have tried.
God, Poop, just stop trying to pitch The Crow. It's just not going to happen. It's not okay.
No.
Tim Steele's already writing it.
Multiverse.
But I mean, speaking of again, every crossover, man. I mean, you had the real Ghostbusters, which was trippy as hell.
Mhm.
You had the Answer the Call, which was absolutely fantastic. That you had the mega crossover. You had, remember you did Mars Attacks, right? You did like that was like an early one. It was like, wow.
It was the first line-wide crossover. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just
that's coming back too. I think.
It is. Yeah, Mars Attacks. They're doing Mars Attacks with Red Sonja. So it's like, wow, random. But was there any? Okay, here's a good one. Was there any Ghostbusters thing? Like, do you have like stories that you're like they're the Erik Burnham Lost Years? Like, and it was like you never got to, but like if they're like, hey, do you got something in the tank? You're like, go.
No, we absolutely. I mean, we always left room for more stuff. The end of Crossing Over, we left seeds to do some other things. I mean, one of the characters, Jenny, the ghost, she's stuck in the tank. I mean, they want her out of there. There's always some ghosts, something popping up that we could do. There's you can pull the Chris Claremont stunt of going back to something that was resolved, sort of, but as a dangler is enough to bring back and re-refer to later.
I've never heard Chris Claremont use as a verb, and now I'm going to use it.
Oh no, it's a whole thing. He made a habit of leaving just little things that were intentionally dangling that he could go back and weave into the story at any time, or just leave sit. It was a really good way to, I don't know what I'm going to do with this month. I've got an idea. I'll go back and just pull this to the forefront. And I mean, that's how you write a book for 17 years. But
that explains why you work so well with Tom Waltz too.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Tom does the same thing.
Second coming of Chris Claremont.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah. It's we did both get to write Wolverine, although he got to write a little bit more Wolverine than I did. We still did. Anyway,
I'm still hoping one day you're gonna do some more Spider-Man, because, like I said, Scarlet Spider was great, and I was just like, man, just do some.
I would love to. I there was IDW let me do 3 issues of the Spider-Man Marvel Action series, and I had such a great with that. And I would absolutely love to write just one story with classic been there since the 60s 616 Peter Parker. That would be fantastic. But until that opportunity comes up, I can't complain about what I did get to do.
Indeed. So we have another question. Did you ever reuse Ghostbusters Versailles?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Yeah, they in Ghostbusters International when they popped over to Paris, I don't think I used anything there. So yeah, no, I have to say no.
well, all right. Well,
Mhm.
crazy. So we're coming up to wrap it up. So did anybody have any other questions that you wanted to ask the man? We're coming up on the end of hour. Steve, Coop,
Not necessarily
Carrie,
a question.
Ratasha?
I really just wanted to give an appreciation for the stuff that you've done for both Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters, because I'm definitely I'm glad that I'm here and got to speak with you tonight.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoy this stuff. I was glad to hear anybody does. Like I said, I hear almost nothing here in the middle of nowhere, so it's gratifying. Appreciate it.
So let's give a hypothetical here. This will be kind of salacious. We'll do this. So you get 4 Marvel characters.
Oh
4
my
Marvel
God.
characters that you get to pick to be Ghostbusters. Who are you picking?
Oh God. On the
Galactic.
spot.
Whatever
On the
you
spot,
want.
it's tricky, man.
I see one hanging on the wall behind you that I was thinking. So
mhm. Who's hanging on the
Yeah,
wall?
Batman.
you got the thing hanging back there, right?
I do.
Alfred E.
There is
Newman
a thing.
Batman.
There is a thing. Yes. The obvious ones, and then the less obvious ones. Let's see. Damon Hellstrom.
Okay.
Would be
Okay.
fun. Yeah. Yep.
He's definitely not afraid of any ghosts.
No, he definitely would not be. Let's see.
Maybe he's got to get these ghosts, similar to Brimstone, so he can, do his pact with Mephisto, so to kind of release
Oh
himself.
God.
There you go. Let's see. So David Hellstrom. Then sneak in. Go back to Europe. Go with. You know what? Nightcrawler. I'm going to go with
Yes.
David Hellstrom. I'm going to to go with Nightcrawler. I am going to go with. Let's see. Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
Triumph Informant, guys. Hell yeah.
And you know what? Just because I always want to write him, I'll bring in Moon Knight. He would absolutely be useless in this. But he's so much fun to write. So yes,
that is the best terrible choice ever.
They're awful choices, and I mean, it's if you give me if I wasn't doing it on the spot, I'd actually come up with something that would probably make more sense.
Yeah, but Eric, I just want to say I have now just got an image of Doom just exercising his powers that one does not slime Doom.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
Yes.
No, it would be. See, years ago, Tom and I were talking, and we really tried to get going a Ghostbusters Fantastic Four crossover.
It would be amazing.
Because here's why. Here's where that comes from. So the borders of Moldavia and Latveria come real close. So we were going to have Vigo and Doom be the villains.
Love it.
And we couldn't get Marvel to say yes. But I so wanted to do it. It would have been such a great bit of fun to have the Ghostbusters and the Fantastic Four. Their personalities would have worked really well off each other, and it would have been such a hoot.
Oh my God, Steve! If you had said no and you hadn't come on, I would hold this over you forever.
I'm not even gonna lie. Hearing Reed Richards tell Egon what he's doing wrong.
They would be so much fun to argue. It's absolutely would be. It would be great. And I just Ray and Sue, Winston and Ben. It's just they kind of pair up naturally. Johnny and Peter out on the town. Great stuff.
I am so mad right now because. I swear to God, I will literally make like a post like, we just heard this, Marvel, please.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like what the Mephisto?
And then you've got Ray going, you see there, you got Johnny Human Torch, you get these rags, you take them, you light them on fire, you become the regular Human Torch. That's not safe for children.
I apologize for swearing.
No, you can swear as what you want.
We are 18 and up, bro. Just don't go doing drugsies or something,
We had another question that said, who would they battle? I guess they would battle Vigo and Dr. Doom.
Vigo and Dr. Doom. I mean,
those.
I'm sorry. I can just see My trick would be how long before either Doom or Vigo is just like, yeah, fuck this guy.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that's the thing right there. That's the time bomb. It's perfect. It just, I mean, it would have written itself. Honestly, it would have written itself.
They don't even have to battle. One of them is going to destroy the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the worst thing I can just imagine is at the end, you find out Vigo left Doom a souvenir and it's a toaster. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm going home. And the toaster's got a little slime coming out of it. I'm like, okay, that's it. You got the end at the end. I'm like, yo, I'm done.
We call that
going home.
easier parts, my friend.
Yeah, but oh my god, I'm so mad at Marvel right now. I have a mighty rage. But
like
like
the pranks that Johnny Storm and Venkman would be pulling on Benjamin Grimm. You know?
Oh yeah, no, it would be yes. It would have been a great bit of fun for me, and you know, so I love contrasting crossovers like that. So it would have been like the old, you know, famous Archie and meets the Punisher. I love stuff like that. So
absolutely, and again, that's why I feel something like when you did the Turtles crossing over with Ghostbusters, that's the contrast worked so well.
They similar personalities, so yeah, it worked.
Yeah, Leonardo hanging out with Winston is one of the keynotes of the. I just love that relationship, and it wasn't like low hanging fruit. It's like, oh wow, there's really these guys would be really good friends, and they're the two out of all of them that makes the most sense.
Talking about how they were hiding the tools, it was so great. But all right,
Carrie, you look like you wanted to say something.
Yeah, Carrie.
Oh, I was just totally curious about how mood slime would work inside of Dr. Doom's armor. Like, would he turn into like a mood? Like, suddenly is he moving? Like, does it based off of his mood, or if he's surrounded by enough people that are like giving out certain emotions, could they like make Dr. Doom being like happy dancing even though he's fucking pissed because he doesn't want to be happy?
If I'm treating Doom like Marvel treats Doom, and I'm playing fair, he would just magic it off.
That's true.
Done. And he goes, I'm not sanctioning this nonsense, and it's not going to affect his personality because he's got his iron will. I remember the old the Emperor Doom graphic novel, you know, where the purple man is like, you know, your armor is doing everything. So he takes off his armor and stands in front of him and says, okay, stand on your head, kill yourself. Oh my God, nobody, you know, that's what you do with Dr. Doom, and that's I mean, you gotta keep the characters who the characters are when you're playing.
No, Carrie, the other great idea would be is if they mood slime, like positive mood slime Doom, and he gives Reed Richards a hug. That's just epitome, just like wow, like this will never happen. And then later on, Doom's like, we will never speak of this.
Yeah.
That's one of those Santa books.
You know what? The other thing is my absolute favorite Doom scene in all of Marvel Comics is from Damage Control #2 and Dwayne McDuffie.
Dwayne McDuffie. Yeah.
It's where they sent somebody because Doom's was late on a payment.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy goes in and Doom says, okay, well you'll take a check, and the intern says, do you got any ID? and he's just looking at him. The guy is just like, please let me live. And Doom's like, no, he's right. You got to follow protocol. He hands him an ID because got anything with a picture. So I love that is my it's goofy, it's ridiculous, but it still plays fair with Doom.
Seriously,
McDuffie was a genius, and everything he did was great.
He 100% agree with that. So Eric, we're coming up on the time. So thank you so much for joining us. This was absolutely amazing. So much. Like, thank you.
Appreciate you having me. Thank you again.
Oh, no problem. So
we'll have
the
to
last
save
thing.
this question for next time, okay, guys? We'll save that for. We'll still acknowledge, but we'll save that for next time.
We got to leave a little bit more in the tank, but
yeah,
we will remember that.
I will give him one.
Prepared.
Ted Kord.
Who?
Ted Kord.
Oh yeah, like my favorite character.
There it is. So that's
my God,
he's right there. I'll throw that out there.
That's a Ray right there, man.
Yes,
Ted Kord is 100% a Ray.
Yes,
and I say this as someone who my mother still will call me and let me know.
Love it
every time that the Ghostbusters is on. My mother's like, you know, that's you, right? Especially the scene with Ray and the Stay Puft. I'm like, Don't remind me. Every one of my friends are like, you're a Ray, you know this. I'm like, I'm very aware my energy will doom the world. So very aware. And all of these people in this chat, these three, not you, Eric, we'll get there soon, I can attest I'm ridiculously mood slime charmed. But point is, Eric, what's the best way for anybody to get in touch with you? Social media, what's the best?
I mean, my website that's scrolling down there at the bottom has links to every way to find me. So any of those social medias will work. And yeah.
Okay. Well, again, Eric, thank you so much for coming on. You know, so much, man. Thank you. And we'll definitely have to have you on sometime in the near future.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to stop talking. So does anyone else want to say goodbye?
Hey, hope to see you at Granite, you know, or
I
at
mean,
C2E2.
It'd be if you know, it's if I get invited out again, I'd be happy to go. So
Maybe Terrificon.
Maybe.
Maybe.
You know, we'll see. We'll see who asks me out. Otherwise, I'll just try to. I'm going to try this year to try to do some because they're less chaotic, to do some signings. Just kind of sneak out. I talked about doing one in Delaware, I think. So we'll see where I can go. I'll try to, because as I said, that's kind of like a little bit less of a buy-in than a convention. You know, I'm only gone 1 or 2 days, and
right.
You know, I don't have to worry about sitting at a table for 17 hours.
And you get all the excitement of being in Delaware.
It's right, Delaware. I've never been to Delaware. Why wouldn't I go to Delaware?
Delaware.
I have the Wayne and Garth experience. Yeah.
Can I? All right. I just have to tell you this. I almost put my green screen up tonight, and my background was going to be high. I'm in Delaware.
I'm in Delaware.
Perfect. Well done. Yeah, you missed it by that much, but it was a
well done, Steve.
Yeah.
I didn't even, and that was just not even okay. Yeah.
You did great, buddy.
Yeah.
You fit the vibe. You got it.
But I don't know, Steve, if you could see this one, but
get out. Wait.
Yeah.
Wow.
Guys, I work in Aurora, Illinois, so they were handing this stuff out in the suburbs. It was issued to me. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well,
no, I already said it. I appreciate me being here to see you being here. I appreciate you being here. There we go.
Thank you. Yes.
Everything you've done, again, awesome. Thank you.
I appreciate you showing up so that he could show up, and appreciate showing up to have you show up.
What they said.
This tone is starting to make me think of the old Steve Martin skit on Saturday Night Live, The Christmas, if you had one wish for Christmas. Do you remember this?
I'm well versed in this one.
Yes. So yes, that's the vibe I'm getting here. You know, all the children of the world to sing in peace and goodwill, and then $30 million a month, tax free, deposited in a Swiss bank account, then complete power over every living person in the universe. And so on. This is the vibe. I'm loving it. It's great.
Yeah, man. Well, again, thank you so much, Eric. If you have any issues with the upload, just let us know and we'll send you a link.
Sure.
You know, just email me and whatnot. But thank you again, man. And like I said, we hope to see you at a con in the future. That would be total awesome. Just keep up the stellar work and party on, man.
All right,
yeah,
guys. Take it easy.
Man. Great
Thanks
stuff.
so much.
See ya.
We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Shall we? Will we?
I know it's still gonna leave this there. Okay.
Ta-da.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay. I'm sorry. I need to say this. I'm so mad about the Ghostbusters Fantastic Four not happening. Like I have a new salty wound with Marvel now.
Well, they're gonna fight Godzilla in like a month.
Yeah, I know, but Godzilla, he's Vigo. He ruled the world.
Yeah, kind of.
Be gone, you pitiful halfman.
A scourge of Carpathia.
Yeah, man. And come on, Carrie would love this. They'd had a kitten. You know, she loved that.
He's got the one up there. I think that's a fettuccine.
I think it's one of the fettuccinis.
Indeed. Well, guys, thank you so much. We're going to do the news now. So if you guys want to stick around for the news, you're more than welcome to. But if you got to bounce, we get it.
I don't know if you mentioned this before, but we're in very esteemed company here with Mr. Steve McMahon from the Dead Dads Club podcast, a podcast that I listen to. So I just
Not
wanted to
lately.
call that out. So yeah, it's been a little while, but I just wanted to point that out. If you guys get a chance to check out the show, you should do so.
I mean, listen. I mean, I've met Steve. He's a rad dude. You know, he's a chill as hell man. I'm just saying. I mean, he's one of us. He's a Ghostbuster. Like, you don't question it. I was like, that's a guy.
I don't know if you guys noticed this, but hold on.
His ass? Oh, no.
Oh boy, look at those two hams.
This is much more of a visual medium than I'm. Yeah, I did see that. That's
that's
that
amazing, my man.
Yeah,
dude,
right.
Is that how you're staying warm in your frozen empire?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
good
nice.
stuff. All right.
I was trying to show it off, but like it wasn't translating well.
That's the Belair's jacket, right?
No, this is made by a friend of mine's company.
Oh, nice.
Called,
Steve, send me the link.
I will.
Thank you. Just now that I'm employed again, I was like, I shall now find ways to spend money. So,
I want to say it online. Embergale.
Oh, nice.
Nicely done. All right, so without further ado, I think we should just bang out the news and then, go home and keep drinking. I don't know. Fine, whatever.
I have one drinking limit now.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You're there.
But before the news, we have...
Oh, yeah, it's variant watch time. Yay. So, yep, variant watch. So, recently, for DC, they've announced that there will be a sequel. This was announced, I believe, at New York Comic Con. There is a sequel to Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee's Hush. The well-received, best-selling series is going to get a sequel, starting with Batman 158. That's going to be in March 26th, running 6 issues, ending with 163. And then they promised that later on, there will be another 6 issues to wrap up the story at a later date. So this is, by the way, is called Batman Hush 2 or Hatoosh. So think like when Kung Fu Panda said skadoosh. So, so Batman Hatoosh.
And coming up next, Batman Skibbity Toilet.
Indeed. Route up.
I have a 7-year-old that will not stop saying skibbity.
I know. That's why I said
skibbity.
I don't like it.
Since Jim Lee's doing it, it'll be out in 10 years.
So the point being is, issue 158, we're seeing there's the main cover, and then there is a shit ton of variants. We're seeing
right there.
Right now, like you have the main one. And then you have, by God, the amount of variants. So I believe that's Simone DeMeo.
Who's doing the art for it? Is it Jim Lee or is it going to be
Jim Lee?
Else?
It's Jim Lee. Yep. So you got the black and white, which is just, again, still beautiful. More of that.
And those two together.
Yeah, those two together, which is just wow.
I do not like Jim Lee's Joker. It's just one of those things. He makes the nose way too long. It's just one of those things. It could be perfect, and he just needs to rein it in slightly. And then
Carrie, the one that you just showed, the black and white one before, that was Sean Gordon Murphy. So that's the legend. That's the Joker White Knight artist.
Yeah.
So
that's why it looks so familiar. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you got that. Next, please. More Jim Lee gorgeousness.
Fighting Deathstroke.
Yep. You got the Lieber Maho going there, which Leo's gonna love.
Yeah, he's
Benji.
Yep.
AKA Joker looks like I can't remember the actor's name, but it looks like the dude who plays Cal Kestis.
Oh yeah. Then you got more. I think that's Dan Mora. Oh God, Yeah, Leo's gonna love that. I mean, God, that looks
Oh, I
gorgeous.
love his Batman.
Yeah, look at that. That is stunning. And then there's more, I believe, right, Carrie? More Jim
Oh
Lee.
yeah,
Yes?
there are 16 of Batman 158, and then there are more of the Hush covers too.
Yep. Just run them through, Carrie.
Okay, we'll just keep going then. I'll
Yeah.
pause on the really cool stuff because that's really cool.
The wireframe
That-
looks awesome.
Yo.
This
Hello,
is
no?
Look
Gabriel
at yeah,
Del
that's that. Wow, that's a Gabriel Del Otto wraparound. Look at
Holy
that.
that's a connecting cover over like over 158 through I believe 163.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Look at that. That's gorgeous.
Why can't everything look like this? Holy crap.
Yeah, because Jim Lee did a similar wraparound for the last issue of Hush, and it's just stunning.
Yeah.
So you got more of the, the Jim Lee issue 1 cover,
Yeah.
black and white.
That's cool.
And then this is what the first of that connecting cover is going to look like.
Right.
So
I don't know
then we're just
Feel
going
like
to.
that one.
Which one?
This one directly in front of us.
Beautiful.
It's like it's beautiful, but it's like too realistic to me.
To each is, Gabriel Del Otto is known for that kind of style, though. Next, Carrie.
All right, now we go to the Hush covers from different things. This is Batman 157.
Nice.
I love that.
It's like
Holy
Jock.
crap.
Yeah, that looks kind of like, that looks a little like Jock.
Yeah.
That's Tony S. Daniel.
My favorite Batman is Tony Daniel. So,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
oh, cool.
I don't know that one. Looks like Mikhail
Linux.
Jennings.
Nah, I don't know about that.
It's Linux is who they said it was.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry, they're very similar style.
You're right. It's just the faces were.
That is a Dustin Nguyen. That I know. His style is very distinct.
Look
Beautiful.
at that Hush. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. How he worked in the cape.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Wow.
Joker looks so different in this one than like anywhere else. I was like, ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's neat.
I think this one was my favorite.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It's a metaphor.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I mean, God, there's so many.
Oh wow. Yeah.
There's, like I said, there's so many to keep track of. Like, it's
I don't
really
really
hard.
see-
That's gonna be the
Mhm.
expensive one. It'd be like, why am I
Right.
paying $40 for this? But I'm paying it.
Because it's magical.
And this one, I'm like, did you study the Frank Miller pose? Or
Pretty much.
what
Yeah,
did
it's
you
scary.
do?
Carrie, is that the last one?
Yes, that's the last of those.
Nice.
Oh my God. So like I said, they're retailing for $4.99. They will have a cardstock variant, $5.99, foil variant, $7.99. The connecting cardstock gatefold cover, $7.99. Then there will be a foil wraparound showcase variant by Sean Murphy, limited to 2,500 copies. It'll be $24.99. So, yeah. Interesting to note, among all the covers, the book will also have a story inside of it. So it's not all covers. They're keeping on what the story will be under wraps. So, like I said, this is a very long-awaited sequel. So we had to assume it's going to be pretty great, but we'll see. Because sometimes when you wait too long, sometimes quality dips, but sometimes it's exactly what you need. So if I know anything, it's going to sell really well because it's Jim Lee. So that's 22 issues of quality Jim Lee artwork. I know this because I still have all my Hush. And
It's got to be a circumstance where most of it, if not half of it, is already completed. Because there's no way he's getting that done, in a time frame. It's got to be done.
Yeah. But point is, that's coming out. So please keep an eye out for it. Again, March 26th is when Batman 158 will drop down. So I would book your LCS now because these will sell out real quick. So that's Variant Watch. So Carrie, you know what time it is.
Drew's News. Exciting tales, fresh comic views. In the pages, heroes fly, villains fly under the sky. From Gotham's dark to Metropolis views, we cover stories old and new. Drew's News, your daily source for comic clues. Join the fun, it's a heroic cruise in the world of Drew's Comic News.
Never get sick of seeing that.
Yeah, I bet you don't.
Is that Jar Jar?
Yeah.
I always think it is because Leo tells me it's not, but I'm like, I know that tone.
There are 3 different versions of it, so it depends on which one gets played. Like one's Jar Jar and a couple are not.
I know it. All right. So, Carrie, let's start off.
By high pitch Eric.
Get out. Let's start with the first story.
All right.
Yeah. The latest in the Ultimate Universe. So, as we've been covering the Ultimate Universe as it is now very heavily, it is now in its 2nd year. So, what we're going to show now is the covers, synopsises for the March issues, which include debut of new characters and a ton of other great stuff. So, starting first off, we have Ultimates issue 10 by Dennis Camp, Juan Figueri with a cover by Dyke Ruan. We're going to have Namor and the Red Skull, where Captain America and Human Torch are leading a team to recruit their old comrade Namor, but they're going to have to get through the Red Skull gang first. So, I mean, Dennis Camp has been killing it on the Ultimates. So, I got to really say this is one of my top favorites of the Ultimate books out right now. So, it's only... Right now, I think it's on like issue 8. So definitely if you need to, catch up because it is worth it. Next, please. Right. So you have Ultimate Black Panther here, written by Brian E. Hill, art and cover by Stefano Caselli. Who is the progenitor? Black Panther's dangerous reliance on the vibranium is going to become even worse when an ancient spirit will attack Wakanda. Now, only the Sorcerer Supreme, who we've seen recently in the Ultimate Black Panther issue 9, can help T'Challa save Wakanda and possibly his soul from this fiend. So this has definitely been taking some interesting interpretations, but we're about to conclude the war that Black Panther has been having with Ra and Khonshu, aka the Moon Knights. So we're going to see the end of that and hopefully some new stories that'll continue to evolve this version of Wakanda's king, aka T'Challa.
All right.
This, I need to say, this is still my favorite book of the Ultimate Universe. Ultimate Spider-Man, issue 15. Jonathan Hickman, David Messina, cover by Marco Cicchetto. The Ultimate Sandman attacks. As the dust settles from events of the recent issues, and just to let you know, recent issues being Peter dealing with the Secret Six, Peter and his now BFF, Harry Osborn dealing with the Secret Six, including Kraven. So we're going to get the ultimate version of Kraven Last Hunt. Peter, MJ, and the kids take a family vacation, but nowhere is safe for Ultimate Spider-Man. So David Messina is continuing his guest fill-in, and honestly, this book can do no wrong. Please read it and do your best to keep sand out of your clothes because it will get everywhere.
Solid reference.
Ooh.
You're welcome. This
on that.
Whoa. You went a little...
Yeah, I kind of leaned on it.
It's okay. So this book I cannot wait for. Ultimate Wolverine issue 3. Written by Chris Condon, art by Alessandro Cappuccio. Wolverine versus Gambit and Kitty Pryde. So in this universe, we've established that the Winter Soldier is actually a brainwashed Logan. So this version of Winter Soldier leads a strike against 2 members of the opposition, Kitty Pryde and Gambit. But do the duo recognize the man behind the mask? This, we saw a bit of a preview in Ultimate Year 1. This book is coming out. It's already getting a lot of great attention. And personally speaking, being that the former Ultimate Wolverine was a huge part of that Ultimate Universe, it's really exciting to see what they're going to do with this one. So, super pumped. Last but not least, the Ultimate X-Men. Written by Peach Momoko with art and the cover by her as well. The Mutant New World Order. So the second year of Ultimate X-Men, chaos erupts as the former children of the Atom rise up against society that used and abused them, as tension between Armor and Maystorm come to head in explosive confrontation. So if you're really enjoying what Peach Momoko is bringing up with her very different, but still very in line with X-Men team, we're most likely going to see the conclusion of their battle with the ultimate version of the Shadow King, and then continuing that story as the former Children of the Atom, which was a cult of essentially glorified mutants, will now essentially lay siege to the... Yep, Erik is totally terrific. We're going to see all of that. So if you like what you're seeing there, again, all these titles will be available in March. Ultimate, March 5th. Black Panther, March 19th. Ultimate Spider-Man, the 12th. Ultimate Wolverine, the 26th. And Ultimate X-Men, the 12th. So check all these out. Please catch up if you can. These are fantastic books with a lot of top-notch creators, and I cannot advocate the Ultimate Universe enough. It's like it's 2002 all over again.
Okay. Sorry, I'm getting a weird lag. I have to reshare the screen. It went away.
Okay.
I was laughing because you were reading terrific, and you said terrific.
Yeah.
Nice.
So if I'm asking if something's coming up, StreamYard keeps just stopping. So
Okay.
So I might have to ask. But next up is me, and okay, so Cullen Bunn and artist Dalibor Talajic are back once again, setting Deadpool up to kill everything in the Marvel Universe for the third time. Back in 2012, we had Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. Then Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe again came out in 2017. And now in 2025, Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe one last time. And this time they've decided that they must reach across the multiverse and bring us the biggest, baddest heroes they could find. Werewolf Cap? Check. World-breaking Hulk? Check. Who knows what else this dream team is going to come up with, but whoever they do, they're going to die. Right here we have the initial cover by David Bartore. This is a kind of whimsical variant cover by Greg Land. Well, as far as Deadpool gets whimsical, you know. And this gorgeous cover by Dan Panosian is out there too. And these are available for you on April 2nd. So, yeah.
Sweet.
Was Dan on the show? Dan Panosian?
No, but he's been doing some really solid work, and I can definitely speak for Carrie. She's very looking forward to his Boom series, The Last Boy, because she's a big Peter Pan fan, isn't it right, Carrie?
Yeah.
So
yes,
we would love to have him on because he's a great artist, and I'm looking to see what he brings to the table as a writer as well. So
cool.
Beautiful.
All right. And Drew, are you filling in for Leo this evening?
Yes, stories? I am. Let's do it.
All right. So hold on, I'm getting there.
You're doing great. Babe.
We'll get there. We're gonna do it. Okay.
Are we living on that prayer?
Oh
yeah, look at that.
Yes. So I am super fucking pumped for this book. We got to interview this creator, Benjamin Percy, at this year's Terrific Con, just as he was wrapping up the last or so issue of his latest series, which is Predator versus Black Panther, which was a doozy of an ending. Now, concluding kind of like the trilogy that he's doing, he did Predator versus Wolverine, which was a Predator fighting Wolverine throughout the years. Black Panther, the Yakuza invade Wakanda and nearly dethrone. Now, this April 2025, Ben Percy with Marcelo Ferreira, Predator versus Spider-Man. 4-issue epic, debuting a new Predator. So this one, we're going to have a heat wave in NYC into a blackout, and Spider-Man has patrol as the city is just high tension craziness. But beneath the sewers and subways, a threat like anything Peter Parker has faced. So we're going to introduce a new Predator whose name is Skinner, a Predator with no honor, no clan, and only a thirst for blood. So Ben Percy talks about this is the top of every writer's wish list. He's so excited, and he said he's going to be able to put his own spin on Spidey's relationship with MJ, J. Jonah Jameson, and oh yeah, Kraven. So there's
get Kraven to hunt the hunter. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, man. So this is a Predator unlike any other. He is a perfect nightmarish foil to our big-hearted Peter Parker. So we saw the first cover there, which was by Paolo Siqueira, and then right now that one, that's that one. That's by Paolo, and then the other one by Ryan Brown. I am so pumped
like 6
for this.
Ryan Brown, so you have to pick the right one.
That's true, but either way, everybody, this book is going to be freaking awesome. And I tell you, if you are a Marvel fan and if you're a Predator fan, please pick up the other 2 books because they are just fucking masterpieces. So just
tell you, it's not my favorite Ryan Brown.
Thank you, gentlemen. Your contributions are, of course, wonderful. But if you like what you see, please check that out. Like I said, this will be. Excuse me.
An everlasting love.
I hate you so much. April 2025. We're going to see a Predator in New York, not Chicago. We learned it last time.
Where's Diddy again?
And we're not going to talk about it. So, yeah. So that's that. So what's next, Kara?
Next is you again.
Sweet. I love talking. So
you're good at it.
I try. So April, there's more Spider-Man as we're going to see another relaunch of Ultimate Amazing Spider-Man issue 1. We're going to be relaunching the series, now written by Amazing Spider-Man Deadpool scribe Joe Kelly, having the iconic John Romita Jr., and of course the contributions of Pepe Larraz, who's fresh off of his work on Bloodhunt and X-Men. So we're going to deal with Spider-Man, his supporting cast, which includes the newly redeemed Norman Osborn and Peter's new girlfriend, Shay, and of course, some of the greatest supervillains in all pop culture. So this run is going to find Peter, again, down on his luck, no job, looking for employment. But of course, the search is interrupted by a rampaging rhino, which is just the top of the sinister iceberg. So you're going to see, apparently there's a major Spider-Man villain working behind the scenes, weaponizing other Spidey villains, including one that apparently we haven't seen in over 7 years.
It's probably his girlfriend. I just ruined it.
And also, what is our goblin-free Norman Osborn up to these days? So there's a lot of good conversation. It's not really a restart. This is just another chapter of essentially what I feel is one of the greatest comic book characters ever made. So we're going to see Peter dealing with Marvel-sized curveballs. We're going to see beautiful artwork from Pepe and John Romita Jr. Just absolute gorgeousness. So what you see there is Pepe Larraz's wraparound for issue 1, which is just beautiful. Yeah, so April.
I like the way he draws the lizard for sure, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, he's been working in Marvel for so long, but I definitely think working on Bloodhunt really elevated his style. I mean, you can say what you want about that series, but the art was top notch. Especially even someone like Carrie, who had misgivings about Bloodhunt, gave his work prop, especially the diversity of the Blood Coven, right, Carrie?
Yeah, I did enjoy the Blood Coven quite a bit. They were pretty badass. Yeah. As a fan of Cenobites, it kind of felt like they were vampiric Cenobite crossover kind of things for me.
Yeah, it was
They all
beautiful.
fed off of different things.
I was on the episode that you guys went through the whole roster and all that. I think I was filled in for Leo that day, so I have some point of reference for it because I did not read that story besides the one that Eric was talking about earlier that Tom Waltz wrote.
The Wolverine. Yep, the Wolverine miniseries. I remember. Yep.
Got any Ghostbusters books, man? Like, I'm here to talk about Ghostbusters.
Get out of here. But yeah, so there's a lot of webs in April. Stop it, Coop.
There are a lot of webs.
Yeah. So I think there's one more story, right, Carrie?
Yes, there is.
Better be
Take it away.
Ghostbusters.
No.
Nope, it's more webs.
Womp womp.
It looks kind of neat.
That is pretty cool.
Oh,
I'll
hold
take
on.
that.
My alarm clock's going off.
Kind of looks like the Misfits as Spider-Man. You know?
Oh boy.
Yeah. Okay, so this one's kind of weird. So we have the Web of the Venomverse. No, wait. This is Web of Spider-Verse, New Blood, number 1. Basically, what we have going on here is Matt Groom and Luciano Vecchio are like throwing together the Spider-Verse and the Venomverse, and with New Blood and Fresh Brain, or Spider-Verse, New Blood, and Web of Venomverse, Fresh Brains coming out. And basically, we're just gonna have a whole lot of stories by a whole lot of people and a whole lot of different takes on Spideys. We're gonna have Count Parker. We're gonna have Spider Prowler. We're gonna have Spider Hulk. We have stories coming in on the Spider-Man end of things, or the Spider-Verse end of things, by Ken Groom, Vecchio, Jordan Morris, Greg Pak, Sumit Kumar, Alan Robinson, and Chris Eliopoulos. And in the Web of the Venomverse, let me pull up this one because I think this one's really cool. This one, all the Venoms look the same to me. I'm sorry. There's just, oh, look, we have large tongues and we're kind of muscular-y, you know. I mean, obviously the kid's a little bit different, but in the Venomverse, we have Venom Mouse, disorderly Katie Power, or maybe more Eddie Brock. And the stories there are once again by Groom, Vecchio, Erica Schultz, Chris Allen, Dylan Burnett, Juan Jose, Rip, Chris Eliopoulos, and in his Marvel Comics debut, David Dastmalchian.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're going to be throwing these worlds up together, and you can get the Web of Spider-Man goes on sale on March 5th, and April 2nd is when the Web of the Venomverse, Fresh Brains, will come on. So go ahead and get ready to get a bunch of stories from a bunch of different people and a bunch of different Spideys and Venoms and creatures. Oh my. So yeah, that's all we've got for the news tonight.
Gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good stuff, guys. Good stuff.
Good stuff. All right. Well, I guess.
Time for the crowdfunding bit.
Oh, and even better news. Eric just said that the upload looks completed, so we are good to go. So
Yes, he is.
Hey, looking good there. But I guess we'll end it here. So.
Oh, I was going to do the crowdfunding.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Right. The crowdfunding. Your 2 stories. My apologies, Carrie. Do your thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. I need to get this pulled up real quick here because I'm not Leo.
You're doing fine.
I'm just pretending.
I was wondering if that Spider-Man, that Web of the Spider-Verse, that was Kane. You know, the guy who was kind of like the pale flesh and all that, looked a little like Kane.
I thought maybe it was Miles. Isn't Miles now
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, but you know, then there's another way back to Scarlet Spider. You know, doing it in one of these Web of Spider-Verse books.
Is everything?
That's true. I don't know. I just feel like I'm Spider-Versed and Venom-versed out. I just can't do it anymore.
Hey, you picked the story, man. I'm just rolling
Yeah.
with it. I was going to mention, like, I'm enjoying the Avengers versus Aliens story. If anyone's reading that, that's been
Oh,
pretty,
yeah.
that's
Pretty
pretty
great.
cool.
Who's writing that?
I don't know. I have it somewhere.
That's Hickman and Assad Ribic.
Oh,
Okay.
cool. Yeah, it's interesting. It takes place in the future too. So
Yeah, it's an alternate Marvel timeline. Oh, Steve, I just sent you something that I think
Oh,
you're
I'm watching
really
it right now.
What?
I'm
Got
looking
you.
at it right now.
Yeah, I got you, buddy. A friend of mine just sent it to me, and I'm like, well, I know someone who will like this. So, Ghostbuster bands.
So
I might buy this.
I'm
There
gonna
you go.
I'm gonna
Gotcha,
hit up 2 Kickstarters for you guys right now.
Sweet.
All right. First up, we've got. Scroll down here. This one is part of Carissa Grant's. I forgot to actually just pull up the image for the Kickstarter. This is a work in progress, folks. Worthy Chaos, Devastation, Supernatural, Western Comic, issue number 1. I went immediately to the prizes here.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically, we've had Chris on tons before. She's been doing a bunch of these. Yeah, she's just amazing. This is her latest Kickstarter, and this one is Buffy meets Supernatural in the Wild Wild West, and they hunt down cryptids while being pursued by angels, demons, monsters, vampires, and more. She says this fun and adventurous series will keep you on your toes and allow you to interact with all your favorite cryptids, as well as some new ones we created: Wendigos, dragon plants, wampus cats, sheep dragons, chupacabras, crow demons, scarecrows, kelpies, mothman, Bigfoot, and many others. She's just killing it with her Kickstarters these days, and she was also ranked number 3 on Global Comics Top 10 Comics by Creators in 2024. So,
congratulations.
Yeah, so these are some of the things I'm showing off for her current Kickstarter. She has 31 different tiers, 2 of which are already sold out, and they were 2 of the highest in cost that you can pledge for, including digital and physical issues. You can get various variants, specialty merch, including metal cards, metal covers, buttons, bookmarks, embroidered bookmarks, coins, plushies, stickers, magnets, coloring pages, songs written for the series on MP3s, props from the comics, statues. This is one of the jointed toys, and I'm probably still missing something. So this is a jointed 3D Anubis that you can get. These are, now we've built up to an Anubis coin collection. I only have a couple of these, so I need to go and work on getting some more of them. One of the add-ons you can get, this is a prop from the comic, Seraphina's glass belt potion holder. This is the journal, and this is what's going to be really cool about going on with this, is if you're getting this, as you go on, you'll get the page with the Wendigo and the Bigfoot and the stickers with them. And then as the series goes on, you can add more pages to the notebook that she's keeping track of all the different cryptids in. So that's going to be new Kickstarter things as we progress. Showing off some of the plushies here. I have the Bastet and the Anubis, and there's the other cute little bat. And these are the ones for the latest. And there is a Wendigo, Bigfoot, and this small little rat guy. And just to give you an idea, this is how big Bigfoot is. There's our Carissa standing there. This guy is like as tall as she is. She compares it to Alf.
Wow, that's crazy.
Hey, Willie.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So there's that, and then there's also the 3D printed resin statues, and we've got the Bigfoot and the Wendigo here. So these are just some of the things you can get on hers, and I think it's worth investing into, guys. She always puts out great stuff, and never gonna like
give you up.
Well, you're never gonna be disappointed. Everything she sets up comes out great, and so if you're if you're a fan of the Buffy, Supernatural, cryptids, and westerns, hop in, get your pledge going on this amazing campaign. It ends on January 24th at 8:00 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to wait to put these up so you're just staring at one thing while I on this next one here. Okay, so the next one we've also had on the show, Andrew Roblowski is bringing us Ice and Bone 1 and 2, a samurai action horror. It's going to end on Thursday, February 6th, 2025. And at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is the 5th in his series, and it's set in 16th century Japan. Anarchy reigns, revenge took Nanaki beyond blood and fire, and now there is only ice and bone. If you're a fan of samurai or manga, this one's for you. There are 25 different pledge levels to choose from digital to physical. A variety of variant covers, including some metal, catch-up packs. Not catch-up packs, like the little...
Boy, crazy.
Oh, wow.
Ketchup.
Yeah,
I have
ketchup.
to
Ketchup.
yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
Like,
not these little
cool.
guys.
All right.
Wow.
I'm gonna put those in. Yeah. Catch-up packs and more. The project started today, and you can still get an early bird reward of a free art print for the first physical copy backers in 48 hours. He's also teamed up with Order of Dracula, and if you pledge to it as well, you can get a Hernan Gonzalez crossover print. Now I'm going to put this back up. This is something kind
Dracula.
This is something kind of cool that he did. I want to see if I don't think I can blow it up. Maybe no, but you can. For the amount of backers that come in, this many digital comics, all these additional ones will come in for each amount of backer funds that he crosses over here.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a really cool concept. Instead of worrying about like, oh, you have to spend this much, it's like people don't have to spend a lot, and it's all digital. So you can check out, these are all his work, and then some other stuff that other people are working on as well. Some of the other merch that he has here are these really cool enamel mugs. He's got buttons. He's got regular bookmarks, samurai charm, some microfiber glass cloth, and then there's this really cool 3D painted model. You can get the script going on. He's got t-shirts for the ice and bone stuff. These are the swords that they are this big, and they do come with that little stand. I just armed mine. Those are the ones from Blood and Fire, and this is the one from Ice and Bone.
Cobra.
Mm-hmm.
So
Cobra Commander. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks cool, Commanders.
So he's got some just great stuff up there, and
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, Carrie. I hope both of those Kickstarters go pretty well.
Yeah.
Especially they're both people, like you said, we've had on the show.
Yeah, and I love that they're tying themselves together. There's a lot of friendly communities out there, and we do have some great Kickstarters that are going to be coming up really soon. I'm trying to wait until they're live to promote things because I don't want to promote them more than once unless we're like getting to the end and it's the last second type of thing. But I will have Aaron on this Sunday on the Owlite Network for Clutch of Personalities, where we're going to talk all about that and show more of the stuff off. So that's why I kind of skipped over his pretty quick, because I want to have him in depth on Sunday. So yeah.
All right. Well, before we end the show, Carrie, I'd like to, bring up our guest next week, if you wouldn't mind.
Yes. Oh, let's go through and let these guys say where they can be found.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah. Right.
Yes.
So let's end the show, and then I'll do the guest. So, Carrie, you go first. Sorry.
Yeah. You can find me here with these lovely gents. Well, not all of them, but with some lovely gents every Tuesday on Splash Pages. You can also find me on the Owlite Network. Look up my name on Facebook. If you see a crow, it is me. You can find all of my links there. Watch my shows, read my books, do my things, have some fun. But more importantly, follow this wonderful man here and the rest of our lovely gents tonight.
Wonderful, man. I don't know about that, but you check out my show. It's a Ninja Turtle show called Epic Tales from the Sewers, a TMNT podcast. We do audiobook style reading of the Ninja Turtle comic books, several of which Erik Burnham has written. So it's pretty fun there, specifically the stuff with the Foot Clan. But you could also check out my music show called Generation Playlist. And then I'm on another dorkening show about Batman called The Dork Knight with Leo, the famous host Leo, and Brandon Powers. And then another multiverse show that we do alternate to that called Comics Paradox with Brandon and Leo as well. So all wonderful shows on the Dorkening Network.
Yes, yes. And speaking of Dorkening Network,
I'm
This
back.
guy.
Hey, I'm Steve from the Dead Dads Club podcast. We're kind of in a transition, but we'll be back very shortly. We do movie reviews. We did beer reviews. We stopped that. But we just talk, have a lot of fun, and yeah.
What about meat reviews? Because I think you got a guy.
We do. We don't. Colin left.
Oh, okay. So no meat reviews.
We occasionally do meat reviews, but either way, you can find us on all social medias. Look up DDC Pod.
all right. And Mr. Malo.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We really appreciate it. We had a great time with our special guest hosts, who we'll definitely have on again. And with our guest, Erik Burnham. Please definitely follow all of his work. He's pumping out some stellar stuff like every week, month, year, time. And especially we're really excited that next week we are going to have on the great Eric Kyle. Sorry, the thing that threw me off there, Carrie. God damn it. We're going to have the great Kyle Starks is going to be on. We're going to talk to him about some of his horror work, a lot of his other projects. We got to interview him at Terrificon. Our great friend Jeremy Courtney got to moderate his panel that he had at Terrificon. It was an awesome time. We're so pumped to have him. And we're even going to have a special guest host who you're going to have to tune in next week to find out. Oh, and for me, if you need me, I'm Drew Malo on Facebook, Ghostbusters 1984 on Facebook. I'm Drew Malo on Blue Sky. If I don't
Instagram.
know. Oh yeah, I already mentioned Ghostbusters 1984. But yeah, just hit me up. I'll get back to you. Okay.
All right. And everybody, thanks for tuning in and have a good night.
We're ready to believe you.